I thought Jarrell Miller beat Andy Ruiz Jr. very convincingly, in my opinion. No matter what you think about Jarrell Miller and what he's done in the past, it's absolutely disgraceful, by the way, what he's done in the past. With, he's a massive drug cheat, the biggest drug cheat in boxing, but he was badly robbed there against Andy Ruiz Jr. Badly robbed. That was never a draw. Shows how corrupt the sport is once again. How has Andy Ruiz managed to pull off a draw to Jarrell Miller? I should never know. I was so close to having a perfect prediction again of saying that Jarrell Miller will win the fight. But I was robbed of my prediction as well, not as much as Jarrell Miller was robbed off his win, though. Jarrell Miller really deserved that win, in my opinion. He beat down Andy Ruiz Jr., literally beat the guy down, and that's the result. How? He walked right through him, took away the jab of Andy Ruiz, walked him down for God knows how long, and it's a draw somehow. I don't understand. At least 8 rounds, in my opinion. At least 8 rounds, Jarrell Miller was walking the guy down. Walking him down. Took away the jab. Closed the gap. Jarrell Miller was walking him down, beating him up, backing Ruiz up into the corner, putting good quick shots together to the body, then going upstairs, consistently snapping the head back of Andy Ruiz Jr. And that's a draw, apparently. How? I don't understand. It makes me feel sick every single time we see something like this. I don't understand. You're delusional if you don't think that's a robbery, and if you had that close, you were delusional. It was not a close fight. It's a blatant robbery. Like, if you don't feel sorry for Miller, fair enough. Like, I don't feel overly sorry for him. I'm just pissed off that boxing just can't find any good solution for judging. Like, something needs to be sorted. It's just annoying because, we just can't progress this way. We just can't progress to other fights this way if robberies are consistently happening. That's the thing. Miller was brutally beating up Andy Ruiz Jr. Miller was brutally beating him up. Miller was taking Ruiz's shots and just walking him down, beating him up to the body. Ruiz was jabbing well for the first few rounds, but in my opinion, bloody Miller was still getting good success no matter what, in my opinion. And in the end, took away Ruiz's jab, was walking him right down, and Miller was putting him some massive body shots, which were clearly having an effect on Fat Andy Ruiz Jr. Ruiz was lazy once again as well. I predicted it. Ruiz would be lazy in this fight. He was very lazy in the fight. I mean, neither guy was great. It was very sluggish, in my opinion. But, Miller was clearly the stronger guy. He was backing Andy Ruiz up onto the ropes. Miller was controlling Andy Ruiz on the ropes. Miller was pushing the pace on that front foot, throwing well offensively all the time. I feel like, yes, Miller, you never know, could have possibly done better to force a stoppage, but he definitely won the fight on the cards. 100% he should have. He was walking Ruiz down, backing him up against the ropes, putting his shots together, and was the stronger guy than what Ruiz was. You barely ever saw Ruiz backing up Miller or really, looking like he wobbled him. I think it was in the 5th when, it looked like Miller had Ruiz in, a decent amount of trouble. Ruiz was able to recover well, though. But I think it's a shambles, to be fair. I think the scoring of it's an absolute shambles. How you can have that as a draw, I don't understand, to be honest. I really don't understand. It's just so frustrating to see it consistently happening in this sport. So many bloody robberies. We can't progress like this. We can't progress like this. I mean, it was just complete dominance overall, with Miller walking him down and just finding Ruiz out so easily. Ruiz was so ridiculously one-dimensional in that fight. Like I said, he would be. Ruiz was so lazy when putting his shots together. So sluggish. Ruiz had an awful gas tank throughout the fight. Miller was doing well. just consistently throughout, in my opinion. The gas tank of Miller had improved ever since coming off the PEDs. And by the way, apparently he wasn't on the PEDs. He did a lot of testing as well. But, it's just Miller was putting his shots together so well. His body shots, he could not miss with them. Miller could not miss with the body shots. Andy Ruiz was not moving much at all. Miller was so easily able to back him up on the corner, tee off on him, and put together big shots. And it's somehow still a draw. There was hardly anything coming back from Ruiz much. Once Miller took away the jab of Ruiz, it was game over for Ruiz. It was game over. As soon as Miller closed that gap down, took away the jab, Miller was beating the shit out of him throughout the fight. Honestly, Miller was beating him up, beating him down, beating him up, literally beat him down. And somehow it's a draw. Ruiz knows he's fortunate there. Like, Ruiz didn't really box well at all there. Ruiz, he didn't box. He was nowhere near ever really putting Jarrell Miller in any sort of danger whatsoever. But again, I don't know, what do I know? I mean, clearly the judges are the experts. Very clearly the judges are the experts. But, it's a brutal robbery, in my opinion. Brutal robbery for Jarrell Miller. It was a good performance from him overall. It was a good performance. He did what he had to do. He beat down Andy Ruiz, was backing him up, was cutting that ring off, not letting Ruiz get out of that corner, kept him on those ropes, roughed him up in those clinches, roughed him up on the ropes. Miller was doing everything possible. Miller was doing absolutely every bloody thing possible to win that fight, and had it badly taken away from him there. And as I said, you don't have to feel sympathy for him. I'm not all too sympathetic for him. I'm just annoyed at these bloody judges, because Miller was beating the guy down throughout the fight and doesn't get the win when he really should have. I just think it's frustrating. It really is frustrating, in my opinion. But, from both guys, though, it was really sluggish. They were falling into each other quite a bit, in my opinion. Some rounds, it was pretty messy. But no matter what, though, whatever you say, in the majority of those rounds, Miller was putting in the harder shots, putting in more of the work, putting in the quicker shots than what Ruiz does. Ruiz had the odd flurry. Miller stayed consistent throughout, and Miller ended every single round well. And, we all know how important it is to end a round really strong. I thought Miller always started strong, and I thought Miller always ended strong. And at times Ruiz came in the middle, but of a round. But, Miller started the round strong and ended the round strong. That's what happened for so many of those rounds, at least 9 of those rounds. Miller started off strong, ended strong, doing his thing, and, looked to have decent cardio throughout the fight. That's my opinion on it. Miller robbed there. Anyway, thanks for watching.